Hi there. Welcome to the Mike and Jen
Xing around the world or through the world, through the world,
Through the World.
through the world.
Yes, my name is Mike.
I'm Jen.
We are a married couple coming up on this will be our
17th year.
17 years together.
Yeah, we have a cool story. We'll get into that another day.
Yep.
We are both Gen Xers. We were both born in 1977. I am 2 months and 28 days older than him. So when he tries to let you know I'm older, I'm wiser.
That is a fact, though. It
Yeah,
might be 2 months and 28 days, but for those 2 months and 28 days, I am technically younger.
it,
It happens.
correct. Correct. Yes.
So we're going to be talking, different topics throughout.
First, can we say rest in peace, Toby Keith?
We
We
have
lost
to.
a country legend
I
today.
think we have to talk about
Or
it.
yesterday, the 5th,
Was
February
it,
the
was it
5th.
yesterday? Or
Yeah,
was
he
it this
died
morning?
peacefully in his sleep.
Oh, in his sleep. Well, that's not a
Yeah.
bad way to go.
He previously had stomach cancer,
Yes.
and but did he really ever say he was in remission? I'm not sure.
I don't know if he was. I thought that he was doing better because I thought he had
But
done a concert like within the last
he
month.
did actually a song that he wrote for Clint Eastwood.
Really?
Yeah, Old Man, and Clint Eastwood put it in the movie.
That's
Actually, and
awesome.
he said, Toby Keith said he wrote the song um, after he had a conversation with Clint Eastwood, and he said to him, he's like, "Man, you're 80 something years old," and he's like, "How do you keep doing it?" He goes, "I wake up every day," and he goes, "And I try not to let that old man in." And there came the song, and then Clint Eastwood put it in the movie The Mule.
That's awesome.
And that was actually the last performance that he did was performing that song.
That's a cool story.
hmm
That is a super cool story.
hmm
Who would have thought that we would lose Toby Keith before we lost Willie Nelson?
Willie Nelson is a national treasure
Absolutely.
like Dolly Parton, but I think Willie Nelson might be so pickled in pot juice that he might just stay with us for quite some time.
I don't even know if he can actually smoke
I
weed
don't
anymore.
believe he does. I believe he came out and said that he couldn't smoke it anymore, but who knows? He might originally. He
No, no,
might.
no. Oh, he's still doing it. He
Yeah.
takes the edibles now.
Oh,
Yeah, no, so he's not changing his lifestyle just because his throat's basically gone.
I've never had a great experience with edibles. Like I don't. Everybody's like, oh, you're like, I don't.
And I would agree with that. You are like, ooh,
But not me. And I think maybe because I have ADHD, so it's
maybe.
and I'm always like
That does, I mean, I understand that. What about Carl Weathers? Another one.
Apollo Creed.
Apollo
I,
Creed.
I mean, we grew up Gen X watching him in the Rocky movies,
Yep.
and him and Rocky formed, quite the bond. And then younger generations might know him as Chubbs from Happy Gilmore.
Chubbs.
Got his hand
Absolutely.
eaten by the gator.
You know what's crazy? And I didn't even think about this, that he died in both movies. Because in Rocky 4, Ivan Drago killed him.
Stupid Ivan Drago.
And then
But Dolph Lundgren still looks good for his age.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
And then in Happy Gilmore, he fell out the window, and Lee Trevino's just sitting there shaking his head. I mean, it's crazy.
Mhm.
I didn't even realize that. And I know that Carl Weathers
He was in a lot of other things, but those are the most memorable for us.
He was fantastic.
Mhm.
He really was. Speaking of Rocky, just out of curiosity, because you've seen them all, 1 through 5, you've seen them all.
Not that I can recall them all. I mean, and they even made new ones, Creed, and I'm not sure if it was supposed to be. I think it was Apollo's Kid.
I believe so. And I believe
Michael
that
B.
was
Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, we didn't. I haven't seen those. I guess
Uh-uh.
again, I'm gonna say this often. I'm a purist. I like the old school stuff, and I know that Sylvester Stallone was in it, and we
He was.
probably might watch it eventually.
Maybe.
But Sylvester Stallone, he's kind of making a resurgence in his
He is.
career.
He is.
He's got a show called Tulsa Kings. I'm not even sure what that's on, but then he's got a reality show with him and his family.
Really?
Yeah, him and his daughters.
Does he have only daughters too, like
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw?
Yeah,
Ay, ay, ay.
they're beautiful. They're beautiful girls, really are.
Thank God I only have one.
Oh, that is all we can handle.
Yes. She's a treasure, depending on the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you
No,
watch
she's amazing. She truly, our daughter is a
Oh,
badass.
she's fantastic. Yeah,
And that's not just because she's my kid.
just
Because
you
I
know,
can admit when my kids suck.
we do have six.
Yes.
Six, 5 boys, 1 girl.
Yes.
You'll hear their names throughout. We'll tell stories about them.
Mhm.
They're fantastic at times. They are nightmares at times.
Yes, and they were born in 3 batches.
They were.
Three batch, 2 batches, 2 batches of
We'll go
three.
with two,
Oh,
yeah.
sweet Lord. Um, I was married previously and had the
Hmm.
3 older boys, and Mike has been with me since the boys were 6, 10, and 8, and raised them and loved them as his own. My ex-husband was very much part of the picture,
Hmm.
but uh,
I call it the married into three and made three.
yes, we made 3. 3 are ours, and
Yes,
all 6 are mine.
that is true.
Hmm.
And
Birthed them all.
and fortunately, all five of them actually still live with us.
Hmm.
Um,
The oldest being 27, he'll be
mhm.
28 next month. Oh, 28
Oh
next
my good
month.
lord!
Yeah, the other one will be 26, and then the youngest one of the first batch is 24.
Yep, yes
Hmm.
he is,
Yep.
and that's
And
and
then the second batch, they're well, gonna be 17, well,
right now they're
16,
16, 15, and
15, and
14.
14.
So
We like to do things. Make
hey,
we like each other. What can we say?
so I do actually want to talk about the Super Bowl itself.
Okay,
I mean, we got that coming up.
which is in Vegas for the very first
It
time.
is in Vegas for the first time, and here's a funny story. So AFC team this year is the home team. So Kansas City Chiefs, they're the home team.
Okay,
So because of this, they get to practice at the brand new 300 and something $1 million practice facility of the Raiders.
okay,
Cool for them. 49ers get stuck out at UNLV.
okay.
Okay.
I
So
can't believe UNLV's facilities are too shabby.
if you put them in comparison, you'd be like high school or junior high versus yeah.
Well, you know what? What doesn't kill you
They
makes
get
you
to they get to
stronger. I mean,
practice there.
seriously,
I
I
mean,
really cannot believe that it's that shabby. So honestly, suck it up, you rich people playing a game called football,
that is
in
true.
my opinion.
Mhm. Uh, we looked into Vegas. If you're looking to go to Vegas this weekend, don't unless you got a lot of money because not only the Super Bowl,
Right?
which who do you think is going to win? I mean, you're going for
Honestly,
she's kind of tough on this one because, and I believe it's because of history is on one side, and I believe, and then she's a big fan
I'm
of the Kelsey brothers
superstitious.
on the other side. So
No,
it's tough.
honestly, no. My like of the Chiefs actually started with Patrick Mahomes and his
That's true.
wife.
Yes, that's true.
Um, First of all, I heard his voice on a commercial, and I was like, "Oh dear Lord, that poor boy sounds like a frog. He sounds like
He
Kermit."
did. He
No
does.
offense, Patrick Mahomes, I really do like you. That said, and then there was like some crappy press about his wife, and she was a gold digger, and of course, I'm like, I was reading it, and come to find out, no, that's not the fact.
Mm-mm.
They have known each other, I believe, since they were in 8th grade. They were, he actually chased her for quite some time, and she's no slouch herself. She was a soccer player, I believe. She played through college. Um,
Did they go to school together? They're both at Texas Tech.
I know they went to high school together. They may have gone to college together.
That's
I'm
cool.
not sure, but they started dating in high school and have been together ever since. So I do not believe that girl is a money grubbing,
No.
you know,
Mm-mm.
like she's portrayed.
She
And
did.
I think that they get a bad rap too. I think sound bites really affect a lot of things, but nobody talks about the great things other than probably locally in their area, what they do for their communities, what they put back, what they, the charities that they have and things that they do. So I'm always a fan of somebody who's kind of been knocked down, and granted they're rich. It's not like they're really yeah, hurting or anything, but I
He
don't like
he's
people to get a bad rap
he's
because it's
he's got a
happened
nice
to me.
contract.
Yeah, I mean,
He has a nice contract.
yes, but they also seem like pretty good people
I
too.
believe so. I believe so.
And then from there, I happened upon the Kelsey brothers because I followed
Mhm.
Brittany Mahomes on her social media, and it was before they became the cool thing.
Yep.
So I thought they were funny. I liked them before they dated Taylor. I liked them before the Super Bowl, actually,
Yep.
uh, uh, last year,
Hmm.
and I thought it was an extremely cool story, and it really touched my heart about the brothers going against each other because all of our kids play sports, and as a mama, like it made me cry.
Yep.
Like I
I
think
remember
it's a
that.
beautiful, really cool story. For those that you don't know, Travis Kelsey plays for the Chiefs, and his brother played just recently retired. Jason Kelsey played for the Philadelphia
Did he
Eagles.
officially announce his retirement? I know he told the people in the locker room that
I
he was done, but I
believe
don't know
he
if he's
officially.
officially done it yet.
I thought he did.
And he might have. I just haven't
And
seen
that
it.
man has had a career
He,
that is badass. And
mhm.
quite frankly, without him, And he was a walk-on. Like he didn't get any scholarships for football and he really wanted to play and he persevered and made himself a badass and
Mhm.
went out and earned a spot on Cincinnati and he was a Bearcat and
Oh wow.
yeah, and he did some really awesome things. And his brother came along, Travis came along,
I,
and he was kind of a shithead from all news reports.
kind of sounds like
And
he was getting in trouble.
yeah,
He
and Jason actually
enjoyed have
put
fun.
himself on the line and put his name out there, which again is near and dear to me because I know that's what my boys would do for each other. And put his name on the line and said, I promise you my brother will not do this. And the rest is history.
Did they go to the same college?
As a matter
Okay.
of fact, 87, the number that Travis Kelsey wears, he picked that because that's the year his brother was born. So he did that as an homage to his older brother because without his older brother, he would not be where he's at. It was his older brother standing up for him and attesting to his character, and that's why he's got
That's
that gave him the first shot. And what you need is your foot in the door, and his brother did that for him.
it's a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Jason Kelsey is actually young in terms of retirement for a lineman. He's only 36.
Yeah, he was born in 87.
Yeah. So if he wanted to continue play, because still playing at a high level.
Well, as a matter of fact, he was caught in a soundbite at the what do they call it? What did that was thing they just did?
Oh, the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, somebody saying, so you're retiring, and he said something. Don't quote me. But I hope not, or something along those lines.
You
So,
just don't know. You
mm-mm,
just don't know.
no, but he's got his wife who's she's awesome. You know, from everything that I've seen, she's just really a stand up girl. She does a lot for their community. They've really done a lot for their communities. Which I think giving back when you're at that level to me is really important. Even giving back for our level, and believe me, we're is really important. However you can, whether it's volunteering your time or whatever,
Yep.
and they really do that. They put their money where their mouth is, and I find that quite commendable. I understand they get tax write-offs, but they don't have
I don't
to.
think that's what they do that for.
No, I don't. I don't believe that either.
Mm-mm.
They've got their adorable kids. You know, their
Yep.
family's a unit. What's really cool is the parents are divorced.
Whose parent? Oh wait, the
The
Kelsey.
Kelsey parents are divorced. Yep.
Really?
Yep,
Oh,
Ed and
actually,
Donna
you know
are
what? I
divorced,
did know that.
and they still are a cohesive unit. They're still close. They still take vacations together, and it again, it kind of reminded me how the situation was with my ex-husband. You know, you guys coached the boys together
We did
for 4 years, I
4 years.
believe.
Had a great time.
Yeah, baseball. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's possible. A good divorce is possible. You know,
It is. It is.
I
It.
understand every situation. It's
Uh,
it's not going to happen. However, if you want it to happen, because when we first got divorced, it wasn't easy. It
mm,
took time and work and effort on our ends, but you know, at the end of the day, you have to do it for the kids.
it's always about the kids.
And
Has to
you
be.
know, now they're grandparents together, and why do you want to take that away from each other? You know, you want to enjoy it. So
Mhm.
the more the merrier, as far as we're concerned.
So on the other side of the other side of the coin, you got the 49ers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It-
Brock Purdy, who,
Brock
according to Cam
Purdy.
Newton, is the 10th best player on the team, considering Cam Newton. I don't ever believe, did he make it to a Super Bowl?
He did.
Oh, did he? What
Hmm.
did he do?
That was his MVP year. They went
Okay.
15-1. They lost in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. So, but
But
that said, now what is Cam Newton doing now?
so the funny part is, so Cam Newton comes out and says that he's the 10th best player on the team. Brock Purdy, I mad respect for his response on this one. He goes, you know what? There's 90 quarterbacks on an NFL rosters, and he's not one. You know, sometimes you just gotta be simple, subtle, truth, and you know, I just
Hate is gonna hate, 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 hate,
I
hate.
disagree with if I'm not exactly sure what Cam's trying to do. If he's trying to get back in the league, I'm not sure that's the best way to do it. Or if he's just trying to stay, keep his name out there. Who knows? Whatever he's doing, people are still talking about it. I'm here talking about him. So whatever he's doing, it's working.
Scam Newton, I had him for quite many years in fantasy football. I was a fantasy football widow, and I figured, well, if you can't beat him, join him. And I actually won the league before he
So we're talking about the 49ers here. One of the cool stories, though, one of the side stories that isn't known very much. Back in the
did. I know
day,
this one.
she does know this one. You tell this one then. If you know it, sell it. Let's go.
So, yeah, the very same family that cannot get tickets, or because they're so
Yeah.
insanely priced, the McCaffreys. They
Mhm.
they will be, I think, the second father-son team in history to have both played in a Super Bowl for the very same team.
Wow. I didn't know
Yes.
that fact.
Yes. And I believe there's coaching staff as well
So,
that is
so Mike Shanahan was the head
and
coach.
Kyle Shanahan. So
Right.
yes.
So Mike and Ed McCaffrey
Hmm.
won a Super Bowl back in the
Together.
day. Yep.
And
Now
now their
they're
sons,
their children,
Kyle Shanahan and
Christian McCaffrey, he's the coach, he's a player, could potentially do the same thing.
so it's like goosebumps. Like I think it's so cool. So like I'm torn. Like
Yeah. There's some good storylines.
there really are. You
Hmm.
know, is it the Chiefs have won it, so
They have.
maybe it's
49ers
time
have,
for some fresh blood. Plus,
49ers have won a lot, though. You got to remember, back in the day, Montana, Young. I mean,
but that was back in the day.
that's true.
You know,
Hey,
there's new generations.
I would take one.
I'm a Bears
I
fan.
would
We
take
have
one.
one.
Y'all got one. I don't.
I mean,
I cried, and I'm not kidding. The greatest playoff comeback ever, Buffalo, Houston. I cried at halftime. We're down 31-3. I cried. I went downstairs. I cried. I was very elated when we came back and won because they left Don Beebe open. Great. Different time, different team. But we've never won a Super Bowl. We're 0 for 4.
my husband, when he talks about his sports teams,
It's a
he
week.
likes,
Mhm.
he's part of it.
Well, to me, that's fan.
Hmm.
I feel like I feel like when my wife buys me hoodies, they are helping that program. So
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about it.
yeah.
So
We're all about the merch.
it'll be interesting. I haven't decided. I'm assuming we'll have it on. I don't know how much we're going to pay attention to. I'm sure you're actually probably more interested in this year than I am. I'm still a little butthurt that my team lost, but
Yeah, that was hard in this house. So the Chiefs were playing the Bills,
Mhm.
and I'm a Bears fan.
So the Bills are not in her top 2 or 3,
They're not in
which
my
is
top
which is fine.
at all.
And I've never asked her to be a Bills fan.
No, because
Nope.
we had an agreement when we got married and had kids that the kids would be raised as Bears fans.
Yep.
Because I support his his fandom of the Ohio State University.
The
Ohio State University. So I thought that was a fair trade-off. So at that point I never
Mhm.
made the agreement to be a Bills fan, and I other than Josh Allen,
Yep.
Stephon Diggs,
Yeah, I mean, there's some good talent. We
yeah.
got talent. We just we keep running into the damn Chiefs. We lost. Remember, we lost the playoff game. We never even got the ball
Hmm.
in overtime. So I
Mhm.
mean, and they ended up having to change the rule. That was one of the most
And I felt really
fantastic
bad. I
games.
had to actually say to my husband outside that, baby, listen, I love you, but I'm kind of Chiefs.
And that's okay. And that's okay. Let's be honest. Me being happy or her being happy, the house flows better when she's happy. So I'm good. We'll wait till next year. My
He
Buckeyes are
was
looking good.
whiny
Oh, I was whiny, but I left the room and I didn't do it in front of anybody. That way the
because
tears couldn't
it
be seen.
just instantly stops.
It happens. So I am curious to see this stadium, though. I want to see what they do with it. You know, that
Mhm.
brand new one. We haven't seen it in person yet.
No, we haven't been to Vegas for quite some time. We used
No.
to go all the time
Mhm.
when the younger kids were younger.
Yes.
But once they truly and everybody started playing sports and getting more heavily involved, and then us with coaching,
Mhm.
uh, the Vegas trips ceased, which was probably for the best
It
because
was.
we donated quite a bit of money.
I think
We came back pretty pickled, but we donated quite a bit. We won some, but not as much as I believe we donated.
No, we definitely did not come out in the.
We have
in the
some
black
great
and white.
memories.
We do. Well,
We never had anything bad. Like
no legal incidents.
No.
We did get
Mm-mm.
married in Vegas.
We did get married in Vegas. Yes, we
So,
did.
Was that little white chapel on the strip? Same place as Michael Jordan.
Yes, and Joan Collins.
Joan
says
Collins.
it right on the sign. The guy that married us was, he was real close to heaven at that point. And
Those were some thick glasses.
I have never ever seen glasses that thick in real life. Mike and I kind of enjoyed a couple cocktails prior to, and not one, but both of us dropped the wedding rings.
We did.
And they went a rolling down the aisle. But,
So,
here we are.
We gotta give a little backstory as to why those rings rolled down the aisle.
Because we dropped them.
Well, we did, but
Because we were drinking.
So we decided that, and we had set it up. We were going to get married around 4:00 in the afternoon. Well, 4:00 in the afternoon, that's pretty late in Vegas.
In Vegas time, yeah. Especially
Now-
when you're up early.
So
Because we brought our baby with. Braden.
did.
Braden was
3 months old,
yeah.
and so we brought.
And we waited till after we had him to get married.
Right. So we brought him, and we found out that day at the Flamingo pool because they have all the loudspeakers going. That our son loved music, and so we put him under the loudspeakers. And if
He
you
would
ever,
cry when we would move him away.
so he had to be sitting under it, and he would sleep as this music is just pumping, pumping, pumping. If you ever been to the Flamingo pool, it's a great pool.
It's a
It's
wonderful pool.
beautiful. It's huge, and we would sit up by this. There was a little waterfall slide.
Yeah, and they had Mister right above it.
Yeah.
So like he was in baby heaven.
And he would sit in there while we were there, and
These headphones are horrible.
we had my family was there too. So while we were imbibing, we had people watching the kids.
Mine was not.
That's a different story. But because of that,
I had one friend there.
we had. That is why the rings ended up getting dropped. It was, but the funniest part about that story is because
there was somebody responsible there to help us with the baby. Don't worry.
My father had.
Well, during the ceremony.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the funny part is we didn't throw up at the ceremony.
Braden did.
But our 3-month-old did. Right on Grandpa.
Yeah, that was great.
That's a story you just can't.
Mm-mm.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
And do you remember that limo that we took?
It was really cool. It was an international. It was like a semi truck that they turned into a limo. Yep. And we were getting married and we were waiting for the shuttle to take us there. And it was taking so long. And there was a guy just standing out there waiting for a fare. And he goes, "Look, you guys are getting married?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I can take you." And we're like, "How much?" And he gave us this crazy price. And we're like, "No, we can't do that." And he looks at us and goes, "How many you got?" And told him how
we had like 16 people.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of us.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll tell you what." And I think he gave it to us for like $20 a person or something stupid.
You know what? For everybody, I think it was like $150.
It was really great, and it was cool. There was it was insane.
Now on the flip side, it so not worth it because it was literally like a 4-mile run.
Right. Yeah, but you had older people with us, and
we did.
The baby, and we were getting married, and we probably should have walked it off, and maybe we wouldn't have dropped the rings. But
first time I went to Vegas. This is before you and I were together. I went to, and I stayed in New York. But I imbibed a little bit on the plane, and I thought it'd be baller status to get a limo. Walk out. Who needs a taxi, right? The guy's like $60. I'll take you to the hotel. Well, the first time you go to Vegas, you have no idea where your hotel is compared to the airport. I didn't.
Take a shuttle.
The airport and the hotels, it's like 2 miles. I felt ripped off. Not gonna lie, I've never done a limo from the airport again because it's literally 2 miles.
My husband's cheap.
I'm so cheap I squeak. And there's no doubt for that. Yeah. But what else is going on in Vegas this weekend? From Thursday to Saturday.
LIV Golf Tournament.
LIV Golf Tournament. And they're advertising. If you have $10,000, you can play in the Pro-Am.
That's awesome.
I'm not playing in the Pro-Am. I'm not in Vegas, but I think it's actually kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. A Pro-Am is pros and amateurs.
Yep, you could pair it up with them. So you could potentially be playing with somebody like Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, John Rahm. Pretty big names in the golf world.
Now, LIV Golf is coming. It's been around for 3 years, and it's coming out as like a competitor to PGA, and
very high priced, a lot of money thrown at it compared to the PGA.
It's the pay scale is structured completely differently. The way they do things is different. It's cool. It's different. A lot of people don't like it because the Saudis.
Yep, the Public Investment Fund is what I believe they call it, the PIF.
They're funding it.
They've already kicked in $2 billion to it. This is the 3rd year.
And the PGA is kind of butthurt, which
they are.
Because I think is ridiculous. I think that. In my opinion, more competition. Just you could get together, do tournaments, like kind of make it mutually beneficial. But instead, they're kind of digging their feet in the sand and being like, "We're stuffy and old, and we don't want to change." I mean, they don't even let their people wear shorts for the love of everything.
That is true. Now, I will say why the PGA is upset.
It's because they're a bunch of old crotchety men.
Besides that, they are taking a lot of the top tier talent.
But they don't have to. The PGA is making it that way.
No. LIV is basically offering, they gave John Rahm upwards of $300 to $600 million.
But the PGA is not allowing them to play in both.
No.
And I think
that is true. That's LIV where has wanted to work together.
Yeah, LIV wants to work together, and they can see the potential in diversifying. And PGA is like, no, we're old, we're archaic, and we're just going to dig our feet in the sand, because they're the same people that still, like in a bazillion degree heat, make their people wear shorts pants because what happens if you show knees? I mean, come on.
Well,
there's a way of keeping tradition, but then there's also you need to change and grow a little bit with the times. And I think that the PGA is what they're going to do is they're going to
Well, the PGA just got a huge investment from SSG, up to $3 billion.
Okay, which is
It's $3 billion. So they're actually creating a for-profit entity. Because remember, PGA Tour is non-for-profit.
like NFL.
Right.
Could be why it's fixed.
So now another reason. So I'm going to liken the pants on the PGA Tour to, for like, if you work in an office, right?
Hmm.
You don't have customers come in the office, but you still got to dress business casual,
I
right?
understand that, but when
Why?
when it's over a certain degree,
Oh, I agree.
there should be some sort of exception.
I don't understand why people think it is not
Classy.
classy for the players to wear shorts. Now, there are people that are super upset about the entire LIV tournament or LIV tour, league, whatever, for whatever reason. If they don't like where the money comes from, they don't like the fact that music is playing in the background, they don't like the fact that they're stealing these players with upfront money and then still allowing them to earn more money. So,
Oh
like,
my goodness, you mean
so what if the way I see it, if somebody offered me a ton of money to work less, yeah, I mean
no brainer?
that's kind of like
No brainer.
what you're trying to do, right?
Correct, yeah.
But everybody's mad from where the money comes from. Does it really matter? Like, where did
I
SSG
mean,
get their money?
let's just put it this way. You have oh, I don't want to be political, but you've got BlackRock and Vanguard like pretty much owns everything in the United States.
In Canada, they just bought a huge
Yeah,
apartment
so
thing.
and
So
then look what they do. I mean, y'all gotta
we'll talk. That's different. That's a
yeah.
different one. We're staying on sports this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to talk about some of the casinos we've been to. And if anybody who hasn't been to Vegas, what they should look for in terms of.
Honestly, I don't think we can truly have that honest conversation because we haven't been there in so long. So I don't even know it would be there anymore.
Well,
We can talk about where we've been, but that
yeah.
probably has even changed so much that we may not even recognize it.
Well, I mean, you still get the emails that Cosmo still wants us to go there. We haven't probably been,
Midweek,
which is fine.
which is fine.
A
But
free
again,
room is a free room.
it's probably been more than 10 years if I had to guess. I mean, Jackson's 14, our youngest is 14, and
Yeah.
if he wasn't 4 when we were going, he was still a bitty baby in diapers. So,
Okay.
I honestly, I don't think we can add much to that conversation other than, the experiences that we had where we were there.
But I don't think a ton has changed. I mean,
I believe it does. I mean, you got to think the technology's changed. I have to believe a lot has changed. Maybe the look of certain things they've kept the
oh,
same.
yeah.
However,
I mean,
I bet you,
blackjack
but
is still blackjack.
we hadn't gone. It had been like a year or two since we had gone, and so much had changed then when they put up Planet Hollywood. Was
Yeah.
that and then they kind of so Vegas is ever changing, and they were
Right.
building stuff when we were there. So I'm sure it really doesn't even look the same anymore.
Yeah.
And with
I mean,
them,
Hard Rock's gone.
is Bally still there?
Bally's is still there. Bally's is still there. Absolutely. Harris is still there. The Hooters is the one that changed over to OWO or whatever that's called.
But is Hard Rock gone, or did they put it? They named it something else.
So it's no longer Hard Rock. It is something else.
Right, but the
and then
property's still there.
Property's still there. Yeah, building's still there. Somebody took it over. And
Mhm.
then Sahara, which was closed way back in the day, has now opened up as the Fontainebleau.
But that was that. No, it hasn't opened up. It
Mhm.
was knocked down, blown up, and then something was rebuilt.
Or rebuilt. I didn't
Yes.
realize they tore it all down.
Honey, yeah, we yeah.
I knew it was closed. We never went back down there after that weird dude. So, and they have some other Hilton properties actually there now on the strip.
Hmm.
But like Wynn and
That was so overpriced.
we
it
did not
was,
enjoy the Wynn at the time.
It was for a whole nother tax bracket, and it was not enjoyable. People were so stuffy. It was
I felt that way about Bellagio.
yeah.
We went with a group of like
But
8
then
of
I mean, I
us,
guess you have to
and
cater to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Remember when we were there, we had a bunch of us and we were like having fun, and then you look around at Bellagio and it's almost like people were like,
Like we were doing something wrong.
right. It's like they were looking down on us for hooting and hollering at like 7 o'clock at night. Cause of course at that point you've been drinking all day, and it was a weird vibe.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole MGM. I always get lost in MGM,
Hmm.
and that's why I've never stayed there. And then New York, I've stayed there once, but you know those crazy carpet where it makes it look like the floor is like this.
No.
You never seen that?
No.
The patterns on it, it makes it feel like it's wavy.
Are
It's
you sure that wasn't the drinks?
no, because that was one of the first things I noticed before I was drinking.
That-
But it's a little messed up though when you have more in you. Yes,
Mhm.
there's no doubt. We talked about going back. I said if the Bills got to the Super Bowl, we would look into going back. And then all of a sudden, I looked at how much it cost, and that was out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work for us.
Mm-mm.
So, all right. Before we wrap this one up, I want to know your prediction. I want a score, and I want a winner.
So I'm a superstitious person, and these same two teams played 4 years ago,
4 years ago.
and it was also an election year,
Yes, it was.
and one particular team won, and a particular president, I
Ooh, I didn't even think about
begrudgingly
this.
say won.
Wow, this has got to be pulling on your heartstrings.
And yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm a sports mom, and I'm again extremely superstitious. And do I believe that the outcome of the Super Bowl is going to predict who wins the election? No, but
Said that with super confidence.
but um, if there's any, you know, chance that, the universe works in mysterious ways,
What are you thinking? Give me a name. Give me a team and a score. You don't. Hey, throw it out there.
I think that the Chiefs should win
Okay.
simply because they have the ponies. They have everything. They are
Okay.
an older team. They work well together. They are a cohesive unit that from the top to the bottom. They have been there how many times in the past few years? I mean,
They play a lot of playoff games.
so, and they've been to the Super Bowl quite
Yes,
a few
they have.
times.
Mhm.
Brock Purdy is relatively new. However, he got them there.
Yes.
So I'm hoping Chiefs. I'm hoping the outcome from the election is opposite of what it was if the Chiefs win. But I'm hoping Chiefs.
Going Chiefs.
I'm hoping.
That's fair.
Hmm.
I'm going based on flat out which team I think is better.
Okay.
I think Kansas City struggles at the wide receiver position because Kadarius Toney cannot. He just keeps dropping the ball. They actually had him inactive for the last two playoff games. It's kind of crazy.
Hmm.
It's hard to bet against Kelsey, but you got Christian McCaffrey, you got Debo, and I think it's Brock Purdy's year.
I think
really
it's
do.
going to be a great game.
I,
Either
I,
way, I think it's going to be a great game. We
you
haven't even talked about the halftime. It's Usher, and he's dangling to hip hop legends, something like that. You know, I don't know. Usher really hasn't done much, but we're Gen Xers. He kind of.
I mean, I liked Usher back in the '90s.
Yeah, but
I mean,
what have you done for me lately?
He's on The Voice. He's a judge now.
We don't watch that.
No.
No, we really don't.
No.
To me, there's a couple that you just can't top, and Prince being one of them.
There you go.
Bruno Mars was a hell of a show.
That was a good one.
Rihanna last year.
One of my favorites was 50 Cent, Eminem, Dre, Snoop. That was a fantastic halftime. That's my opinion. I enjoyed it. You want to put a number on it? What do you think the score is going to be?
Absolutely not.
Just hoping on the Chiefs. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to root against my wife because, that just doesn't work out very well in your house. But I do believe that San Francisco, I think it's their year.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see.
We absolutely will. Everybody have a great time.
Till we meet again.
We will see you next time.